I'm very happy that all of you, my fellow panelists, have accepted our invitation and accepted to come here today. So, very brief introduction into their illustrious careers. Mr. Anto Joseph first. He is the resident editor, Tamil Nadu, of the New Indian Express and a British Chevening scholar. With 32 years of experience in print media, he has spent 17 years managing journalists at the New Indian Express, DNA, Deccan Chronicle, and The Economic Times. He has contributed articles to leading publications including The Guardian in the UK, La Vanguardia in Spain, Economic Times, DNA, Fortune, it's a whole laundry list of publications, HT Mint, Money 9, Caravan, etc. He holds a master's degree in finance management and international relations from the University of Mumbai, and he has studied media management at the University of Westminster, UK. That's perfect because we do have questions about the business of media, so which we'll get into later. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Thank you. Ms. Indra Balaji is the news editor at TheFederal. She oversees news coverage at this digital platform. Building her expertise primarily in business journalism, she has worked in senior editorial positions at the Hindu Business Line and has served as an editorial consultant for the business intelligence firm, Venture Intelligence. Her journalism today spans a range of beats, including international affairs, energy and climate, politics, and business. She holds a postgraduate degree in journalism and mass communication. Thank you for being here, ma'am. And here we have Ram Sundaram. Ram is an assistant editor at the Times of India. His portfolio of stories demonstrate a passion for old-fashioned shoe leather reporting with numerous articles on key regional issues. He has built up an impressive cache of stories with real impact on all urban dwellers because he primarily covers transportation and transport infrastructure. He's also a prolific user of the RTI petition as a powerful reporting tool, and he has even been here to give a lecture on filing an RTI petition. He holds, previously he was a reporter for the New Indian Express, and he holds a bachelor's degree in engineering, and he studied journalism at the Asian College of Journalism. Welcome, Ram. Thank you. All right, I think the context is pretty much set in the inaugural session for which you weren't here. Mr. Shivaru pretty much gave us a broad picture of what is happening right now and what we can expect in the future, or what we may expect in the future, because nothing is certain. But my question is it all doom and gloom out there? Very snap opinion of your forecast. What do you think the future of journalism is going to be? Do you feel optimistic, pessimistic? What do you feel about the future of journalism? Let's go this way.
I think it's good. Future is good. It's secure because though there is a threat of AI that we all are discussing, journalism hasn't faced any major job cuts due to AI so far. I've been told, I read somewhere in ET that IT is the most affected sector when it comes to AI, where 70% of jobs are a threat, followed by banking sector, which is facing a 50 to 55% cut, and journalism is like only 8th or 9th in the list with just 14% of cuts that might happen. So far the future looks good. But in terms of presenting the content, yet we are facing a lot of challenges.
I don't think any single technology can replace journalism. So be happy that journalism will thrive. There is absolutely no threat. Now, AI is basically, I think it is still in a very primitive stage, especially in India. When it comes to, and it talks about job loss and such, maybe, the entry-level jobs like sub-editors, proofreaders, I think most of the proofreaders are already out of job. They might probably have an issue. But end of the day, journalism is what creating engaging content. That has to happen by journalists. It cannot be replaced by AI.
Good to see so many youngsters interested in journalism. And AI is here. I beg to differ from what Anto says. AI is here. It's happening. It's happening in India. And it's like amazing. But it's not going to cut jobs. In fact, it's going to make our jobs very interesting. It's going to expand jobs because AI needs to be told very specifically what you want. And to tell that very specifically, you need a lot of education. You need a lot of resources. You need to be intelligent. So your roles will differ, but certainly you're not losing your jobs, and AI is here. Yeah.
Okay, that's comforting to hear. Let's move on from that point of view. All right. So as I mentioned in the kind of themes we are thinking about that we are dwelling on, first we face a lot of content challenges. There is misinformation because there is a rush to publish. All of us make mistakes because we are constantly in competition as to who will get the news out there. And then there is disinformation because there are motivated parties that put out information specifically to twist a narrative a certain way. And that puts legitimate content into question. We are taught in journalism that you verify, re-verify, verify a third time before you put it out. But is there time to do that? And if we do rush to publish and we do make a mistake in today's scenario, and we did discuss that earlier, do we bother to correct it? Previously, you used to see an errata column, and I'm seeing less and less of that. Do we just let it pass? So are we becoming more and more lax with respect to accuracy because of the competition and everything? What do you think?
Breaking the news doesn't mean that you want to break somebody's trust. That's the primary thing. See, there are there is a rush. There is a thing. Google wants the first publisher to be on the top. All that is there. Companies also push us towards it. But the problem is the moment you make a correction, the errata, your ratings is affected. Yeah, and talking about people who are intentionally spreading wrong information, that's always a threat. The problem is not just that one lie that's there. There are 1,000 versions to that lie. So people eventually they lose trust on everything that's out there. They don't want to see that. So
the need to actually produce fresh and engaging content puts immense pressure on news organizations, and it has to be done on hourly basis. It's actually a race against time. Sometimes speed trumps accuracy. It's also probably leading to misinformation and also sensationalism. So these are issues that need to be taken care of. And to tell you frankly, I mean, it's I don't know whether I can reveal the secret here, that news organizations are on a trial and error mode. No one has got it right so far. Everyone is trying to push whatever content that's possible, from their feeds. No one knows what really works. As Ram rightly said, end of the day, it is the algorithm that works these days, right? So you get to see what you want to. You get to read what you want to. That old aphorism, I think, stands right now, that, you get what you deserve. Okay. News organization cannot be blamed for it.
Which question do you want me to address, ma'am? The rush to publish news, or the second one you were talking about, agenda-driven journalism? Yeah.
Nobody knows what narrative is real, what to believe. Yeah. So what kind of a scenario are you operating in? And do you find that you have to struggle with disinformation purveyors and misinformation purveyors in order to make your voice heard?
Okay, yeah. So I honestly believe no news organization puts out fake news on purpose. It's never done. Maybe a few, social media people trying to make money perhaps, but no news organization would put out news like that. But this haste to publish, be first out there, catch Google's eye, that's there. That pressure is certainly there. And end of the day, you need to know where to draw the line, At one point, you want your credibility, you want your reader to trust you. You also want to please Google. So it's all about responsibility. You should know where to draw the line. Check, recheck. If you're a few minutes late, it's all right. It's like all these Zepto men rushing across the state. What's the hurry? 2-3 minutes, people can know things a little late. It doesn't matter. You just need to get it right. You ask your reporters to check. And in case you still have a doubt, at least say that it's unconfirmed news. And if you get confirmation, we'll update you. You have to build your readers' trust, and you owe it to them. And agenda-driven, that's an entirely different thing. That's another question. Yeah.
This agenda-driven content we're talking about, I don't call it journalism. It's unfortunate that we have been, flooded with a lot of agenda-driven content. Journalism is said to be one of the 4 pillars of our democracy. Have you heard of that? Yes. I get a feeling sometimes India sits on a tripod.
All right. So because of paucity of time, I mean, we could go on and on about content because we are all, content providers. We teach creating content, even though you hate the word. But but we should talk about other aspects also of journalism. So audience challenges. I mean, audiences' tastes are changing. 2 of you work with print first publications. You're with a digital platform. So today's audiences, we all here want really quick content. Their attention spans are really short. So everybody is aiming for on digital platforms and on broadcast, shorts, reels, more visualizations, more visual content. So what are your organizations doing to cater to that? And secondly, do you think in this kind of catering to today's audiences, we are losing nuance? Because nuance can only be expressed when you dwell on news for some time, at some length. So what is the thinking in your organization about this?
You're right, ma'am. Like shorts and reels, they can be used to break the news, but not break down the news. So it doesn't give you any context. All these short format things. See, problem is news organizations haven't found the right way to feed their digital habits, the young generation's digital habits. We should cope up to their speed. There's no point in like sitting back and saying that people are not reading. We have, as a news organization, had to adapt to it.
For my organization, print is an important one. We continue with the print. In fact, we have probably reduced the circulation numbers, and we have the most expensive newspaper, general newspaper in India, at 9 rupees a day, okay, and 12 rupees on Sundays. Our thinking is this: if you buy this stuff, you buy it at we come at a price. If you want to read our articles, we do excellent journalism. If you want to read our newspaper, pay for it. So we have to be very careful about how we spend our newsprint. Are we getting any remuneration for, or are we getting anything in return? Is a very important fact for us.
Even today, every newspaper has a full page ad of a new real estate project or a hospital. They come to print first because they find their responses better in print. So it's okay.
Yeah, so this paid content, as he says, if you can market in a different way, which is what Federal does. And very few subjects, healthcare, a hospital might want to put out some news, or an educational institute might want to put out some news. We do agree to it. But we say very clearly it's sponsored content. The editorial team had nothing to do with it. We don't use it for cross references and any such. We don't promote it on social media. So we have very strict norms, to make sure that the reader is not fooled end of the day. Yeah.
I recall this case when Google News was sued by several news publishers. I didn't follow the case, so I'm not sure what happened of that. Yeah. And similarly, now today, news publishers argue that AI, such as ChatGPT, should pay to use news publishers' content to train their models. And New York Times and several other publishers have joined into that lawsuit. So let's not go into that, but let's talk about AI because that is the topic of the hour. I know that in Indra ma'am's organization, you're using AI in new and different ways. Can you just go into that? And so do you at the Times, and like to know what the new name is doing as well. So first, can you start? Thank you.
So the Federal has taken actually baby steps here. We've just started. And we are still exploring what can be done. But what we have seen till now, it's like amazing. It's mind-blowing. Because if it's going to take you at least 40 minutes to go through a 2,000-word article and even make sense of it. Whereas if you run it past your customized AI, it can summarize it very neatly for you. So you have some kind of a foothold when you start with a copy. You wouldn't trust it with editing that copy. But you can, kind of let it give you some sense, especially copies like, which have a huge legal background or a medical background, which your average desk sub-editor wouldn't know. So it's an aid like that, it depends on how you use it. And much depends on the prompts you give. You have to be very specific with your prompts. Tell AI to do this, not do this. It's like, training a child. So once you do that, you're in a good place. And of course, we have to give a disclaimer saying that you have used AI for such and such purpose only. You have to convince the reader that a human has been in the loop and that safeguards are all in place. So, yeah.
Times is good. Times has done good. Put AI to proper use. We have an in-house AI. We have a tie-up with OpenAI, and we have our own product called as Beans. Earlier it used to be Denmark. Now it's Beans. So what it does is you have different options in it. You can analyze a document, say a 2000 page document. It will analyze and give it to you results in like less than a minute. So I think that's a great thing. It can listen to your recordings, translate it. So it does all of this work. So at the best, the AI can be it's a fantastic editor, assistant to you, but not a journalist.
Yeah, so this translation I forgot to say, Federal has 4 other editions, 2 in Telugu, 1 in Kannada, and 1 in Hindi. And in fact, translation is what we began to use AI for initially, because it saves you a lot of labor, a lot of time. And from there we went to, its translation is good. Actually, Hindi to English, Tamil to English is pretty good. Other languages still not up to the mark, because apparently there are a lot of dialects, like Andhra, Telangana speak some 10 versions of Telugu between them. So AI is still not cracked it, but we're hoping to be there someday.
As a parting word, can you just very quickly say what kind of skills you think journalists should come out with today, novices?
Journalists have to be like genuine traditional journalists, no change in that, because more we have social media, the more we have fake news, the more we have AI generated deep fakes and all that. People need a set of people they can trust to interpret, sift the good from the bad and point out what's there. And they need perspective, they need to be educated. Information is not everything. Information is not journalism, it goes beyond that. So as a good journalist, you have to be, you have to read widely, you have to write, you have to know a lot of things, you have to meet people. And next, everything else is secondary, whether you're quick on your Instagram, whether you're good at taking reels, whether you can photograph well, everything is needed. Actually, not much has changed, I feel.
So this multimedia concept, what we spoke about, say 10 years back, has taken a new color, new vigor right now. With AI, I think that's going to be the in thing. There will be a lot of jobs coming up on those lines. That we will have to handle those things as well. Yeah.
The basic thing is, as a journalist, the basic qualities are still the same. You go out, get to the field, talk to as many people as possible. As reporting is concerned, nothing is going to change. That urge to tell the story in an interesting way. Those are the basic core qualities that still you need to have. Yeah, your roles, the skill set may change. Every 3 years it keeps changing. 2017 we were taught to write for Facebook. Today we are taught to write for X. Tomorrow it's going to change every 3 years. But the core is going to still be there. So make those qualities a little bit strong and